In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on March 4th, 2026, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Oklahoma City Thunder versus New York Knicks. The Oklahoma City Thunder roll into Madison Square Garden with that familiar Oklahoma City Thunder swagger after wins over the Bulls and Mavericks, and they even get the Warriors next. The Oklahoma City Thunder have taken 8 of their last 10, so the vibe is steady, confident, and a little annoying if you are trying to fade them. The New York Knicks are not exactly sitting around either, because they handled the Raptors and Spurs, and now they have the Nuggets waiting. The New York Knicks have won 15 of their last 19, and that kind of stretch tends to make a team play like they own the room. The Oklahoma City Thunder are expecting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Ajay Mitchell back, but Jalen Williams is still out. The New York Knicks are still missing Miles McBride, though they look close to full strength otherwise. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander sat in Chicago last night, and Oklahoma City Thunder still won by 8 even while shooting 24% from 3 and losing the rebound count 53-51. The Oklahoma City Thunder probably do not get to repeat that trick against a Knicks group that has been around the block, because veteran teams rarely gift wrap wins when the other side shoots like that. Head-to-head history leans Oklahoma City Thunder with 7 wins in the last 8 meetings, and they have stacked up a 7-game win streak at Madison Square Garden. The Oklahoma City Thunder also have not hit 50% from the field in 7 straight games, and without their second-best player available, they will need sharp execution, not vibes, to keep pace. The back-to-back angle matters too, because the Oklahoma City Thunder are 3-7 straight up on no rest this season, and that is a real sample, not a random blip. The New York Knicks are 6-4 straight up in those spots, and that little edge tends to show up late when legs get heavy and decisions get sloppy. The New York Knicks also did themselves a favor in that Toronto win, because only Jalen Brunson played more than 32 minutes in a comfortable 111-95 cruise. The minutes distribution is not flashy, but it is the kind of quiet detail that can swing a tight fourth quarter when both teams are running on fumes. Rebounding and perimeter resistance lean New York too, with the Knicks ranking 6th in rebounds allowed while the Thunder sit 25th. New York also grades out better on opponent three-point percentage, while the Thunder are down at 24th, and that matters at MSG, where hot shooting can turn the building into a microwave. Yes, the Oklahoma City Thunder have momentum, and yes, getting starters back changes the ceiling. The Oklahoma City Thunder also brings some uncertainty, because questionable tags can turn a confident handicap into a shrug 5 minutes before tip. The New York Knicks being at home tilts the whole read for me, because when teams are equally tired, the home routine, the crowd, and the familiar rims do not fix everything, but they do smooth the edges. The New York Knicks are 23-8 straight up at home, and it is hard to ignore that kind of consistency when you are getting points. This spot also feels like that Knicks-Spurs game, where the underdog role looked weird on paper, then the game happened, and suddenly it did not feel weird at all. The New York Knicks are 3-0 against the spread and 3-0 straight up in their last 3 games as a home underdog, and that is not nothing. Betting against the champs takes nerve, especially with that Garden win streak hanging over the matchup. The New York Knicks look healthier, they look steadier on the glass, and they look better set up for a no-rest grind, so taking the points makes sense, even if it feels a bit sweaty. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Knicks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Oklahoma City is scoring 119.1 per game on 48.4% shooting, and they are allowing 107.9 on 43.7% shooting. Oklahoma City is hitting 36.5% from 3 and 82.1% at the line. Oklahoma City is giving up 36.8% from deep, and they are pulling down 52.7 rebounds per game. New York is scoring 117.1 per game on 47.2% shooting, and they are allowing 110.8 on 45.7% shooting. New York is hitting 37.5% from 3 and 78.3% at the line. New York is allowing 35.6% from deep, and they are grabbing 45.9 rebounds per game. The no-rest setup can push totals in either direction, which sounds like a cop-out, but it is true. The legs can die and shots come up short, or the defense can be half a beat late and suddenly everything at the rim is free real estate. The Oklahoma City Thunder just showed how ugly their shooting can look in a back-to-back when the three ball is not falling. A low percentage night from deep is not automatic again, but it is also not some once-in-a-decade accident, especially with travel and rotating bodies. The New York Knicks usually bring a steadier half-court pace, and when games tilt into more set possessions, scoring can get a little sticky. The New York Knicks also spread minutes better in that Toronto game, which can help their defense stay connected, and connected defense tends to keep scoring from snowballing. Rebounding can quietly cap scoring too, because if one side controls the glass, you get fewer second chance points and fewer chaotic runouts. New York's profile there, plus their stronger perimeter defense, suggests fewer easy threes, and fewer easy threes can keep the score from racing. The efficient scoring numbers on both sides are real, but the context is messy because a tired game often turns into a rhythm fight instead of a highlight reel. The overall setup leans toward a total that lands short more often than it turns into a track meet, especially if the shooting runs cold for stretches. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Utah Jazz and Philadelphia 76ers get together Wednesday at Xfinity Mobile Arena, and honestly, this one has that messy midweek energy written all over it. The Utah Jazz just dropped games to the Nuggets and Pelicans, and they get the Wizards next. The Utah Jazz have lost 23 of their last 29, which is the kind of stretch that makes even a basic box score feel like a jump scare. The Philadelphia 76ers lost to the Celtics and Spurs, and they have the Hawks coming up. The Philadelphia 76ers have won 3 of their last 5, but that is not exactly the sort of run that screams stability. The Utah Jazz are still without Lauri Markkanen, Jusuf Nurkic, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Vince Williams Jr., so the rotation is basically held together with tape and vibes. The Philadelphia 76ers have ruled out Joel Embiid, and they are watching Kelly Oubre Jr. and VJ Edgecombe, both questionable. The general problem here is simple: neither side feels trustworthy right now. The Utah Jazz were freezing cold before nearly stealing one from Denver on Monday, and the Philadelphia 76ers are walking in off zero rest after getting flattened by the Spurs. Philadelphia just ate a 131-91 loss to San Antonio, and that kind of margin does not disappear from your legs overnight. Joel Embiid was already sidelined with an oblique injury, Kelly Oubre Jr. missed Tuesday with illness, and VJ Edgecombe left after 6 minutes because of lower back soreness. The back-to-back spot makes it easy to imagine things looking even rougher if those bodies are still not right. Utah is missing key names too, but this version of the Jazz has been living in that reality for a while. Utah has found ways to stay competitive even while stacking losses, and only twice in their last 13 games have they lost by more than 11 points. Keontae George just popped for 36 in a 128-125 loss to Denver, which at least shows there is real scoring juice available. Ace Bailey has beaten his season average of 12.7 points per game in 3 straight, and in 7 of the last 8, which is the kind of small trend that matters when you are hunting underdog covers. Yes, the Jazz are losing like it is their job, because the top pick chase is clearly part of the plan. The Philadelphia 76ers should want to bounce back after getting embarrassed, but wanting it and being able to lay nearly double digits are two different things, especially on tired legs. The Philadelphia 76ers potentially missing Edgecombe and Oubre only sharpens that concern. The Utah Jazz quietly being 32-29 against the spread is the punchline that keeps landing, because the scoreboard says tank, but the betting results say they hang around more than people expect. This is not pretty, and it probably will not be pretty, but ugly games still count. Utah keeping it close feels more reasonable than trusting a fatigued, undermanned Philadelphia team to create separation and hold it. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Utah is scoring 117.8 per game on 46.6% shooting, and they are allowing 125.5 on 48.9% shooting. Utah is shooting 34.6% from 3 and 79.5% at the line. Utah is allowing 37.2% from deep, and they are grabbing 43.8 rebounds per game. Philadelphia is scoring 115.9 per game on 45.7% shooting, and they are allowing 116.1 on 47% shooting. Philadelphia is shooting 35.5% from 3 and 81.4% at the line. Philadelphia is allowing 35.6% from deep, and they are grabbing 43.3 rebounds per game. A game like this can feel slow, then suddenly turn into a points parade because nobody is guarding anybody with real conviction. Utah's defense has been a revolving door, and when you are giving up 125 plus per night, you do not need much help to push a number upward. Philadelphia being tired can hurt shot quality, sure, but tired teams also foul, miss rotations, and give up the kind of easy looks that inflate a total without warning. If the 76ers are short-handed again, that can also mean more minutes for guys who play fast, gamble, and sometimes forget the scouting report exists. Utah has shown it can still score even while losing, and those recent tight games suggest they are not just folding early and jogging to the finish. When both teams are leaky, and when one team is dragging itself through a back-to-back, the path to points usually comes from transition chances, free throws, and a whole lot of who was supposed to be there moments. The stat profiles on both sides leave room for scoring to build, even if the basketball looks goofy while it happens. The overall setup points toward enough possessions and enough defensive mistakes to get this game into an overscript more often than not. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Charlotte Hornets versus Boston Celtics. The Charlotte Hornets and Boston Celtics square off Wednesday at TD Garden, and it has the feel of a game you circle even if you pretend you do not circle games. The Charlotte Hornets just beat the Mavericks and Trail Blazers, and they get the Heat next. The Charlotte Hornets have won 15 of their last 18, which is the kind of heater that makes a team walk into arenas like they paid the mortgage. The Boston Celtics beat the Bucks and 76ers, and they see the Mavericks next. The Boston Celtics have won 16 of their last 21, so they are not exactly playing catch-up either. Charlotte expects to be at full strength with Kobe White returning, and that matters because it tightens the rotation and cleans up the late-game shot menu. Boston is still missing Jason Tatum, and that is obviously a headline, but this roster has enough structure to keep humming anyway. These teams have not played each other yet this season, so there is a little extra mystery, like the first time two playoff-caliber teams finally see each other's counters. Both groups are in strong form right now, so splitting them on pure who is better logic gets tricky fast. The scheduling spot is the separator because Charlotte is on the second night of a back-to-back. The second night can be fine when you are young and running hot, but it still steals a step on closeouts and turns a few rebounds into tap-outs, and those tiny losses add up. Boston at home is usually the steadier bet because their execution tends to hold even when a star sits. Peyton Pritchard being asked to shoulder more creation is not a bad thing in this matchup because he can push pace when he wants, but he also plays within the system when things slow down. Charlotte is good enough to make this uncomfortable, no doubt. Boston is just the cleaner option here, especially at TD Garden, and especially when the other side is coming in with tired legs. As our first pick for this matchup, the Boston Celtics to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Charlotte is scoring 116 points per game on 46% shooting and allowing 112.6 on 47% shooting. Charlotte is shooting 37.8% from 3 and 81.7% at the line. Charlotte is allowing 36% from deep, and they are grabbing 46.3 rebounds per game. Boston is scoring 114.8 points per game on 46.6% shooting and allowing 106.9 on 44% shooting. Boston is shooting 36.4% from 3 and 79.3% at the line. Boston is allowing 36% from deep, and they are grabbing 46.2 rebounds per game. Boston's defense is the anchor here because allowing 106.9 per game with opponents shooting 44% is not an accident. That kind of resistance usually forces longer possessions, tougher looks, and more of those fine, take the mid-range outcomes that drain time without padding the score. Charlotte can score, and their three-point rate is legit, but tired legs on a back-to-back can quietly shave a few percentage points off jumpers. A couple early misses can also nudge a team towards slower, safer offense, which is not exciting, but it is how unders get breathed into existence. Boston without Tatum can still score, but the offense can tilt a touch more methodical. When a primary scorer sits, the ball moves more, possessions stretch, and you sometimes get good shots later in the clock instead of quick ones, which is great for quality, not always great for volume. Both teams allow 36% from 3, so neither side is completely bleeding perimeter looks. If this turns into a half-court chess game more than a track meet, the scoring can stay in that reasonable range even with stretches of hot shooting. The stats point to capable offenses, but the game shape points to fewer freebies, fewer easy runouts, and more possessions that end with a hand in someone's face. That kind of night usually lands under more often than it sails past it. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.